We are back on the Real News Radio, July 4th, 2009, Liberty News Radio Network, and we're going to continue with some of the news in this segment. So go ahead and get us started, Brian.
An economy bigger than Russia, Brazil, Canada, India, or Spain is about to default. Washington's blog, July 2nd, 2009. An economy bigger than Russia, Brazil, Canada, India, or Spain is in imminent risk of defaulting on its debts. Which nation am I talking about? Not a country, but the state of California. California's GDP was around $1.8 trillion in 2007. According to the International Monetary Fund, that's bigger than the 2008 GDP of every country in the world except the U.S., Japan, China, Germany, France, UK, and Italy. Given that California has more people than any other state in the U.S. and has some of the largest agricultural, manufacturing, high-tech, and defense sectors in the nation, you would think that helping California would be important. And yet, instead of helping California, the federal government is giving aid to Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan, and other financial giants who helped cause the financial crisis, and to Israel and other foreign countries. Does that make any sense? No, depending on which source is cited, the CIA World Factbook, World Bank, or IMF, California ranks somewhere between 7th and 10th in world GDP.
Well, the insanity just continues. You know, we reported, maybe 3 weeks ago, where Obama was making a loan to the IMF for $100 billion, and then the IMF was making a loan to Mexico for $30 billion. But here, while California, by their own ignorance and misspending and pitiful management, is going down the tubes, and we've got another report here, San Francisco Chronicle, July 2nd, 2009, Feds may grab California parks. Maybe it's all by design. Maybe this is what they want. And I'm going to read it. California could lose millions of dollars in federal grants, and the National Park Service could seize land in 6 parks, including Angel Island, if the state goes through a proposal to close 219 state parks, officials said Wednesday. Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger's closure list includes 67 parks that would probably stop receiving federal funds if they were shut down, National Park Service officials said. In May, the governor proposed closing 80% of the state's parks to help fill the state's gaping deficit. Portions of 6 other parks that used to be owned by the federal government but were transferred to the state could be taken back if they were closed, said David Steichleather, the project manager for the 2 National Park Service programs that provide money to the California state parks. So again, news that you don't see in the mainstream press. California really getting in some serious financial situations, and as you said, the federal government gives money to Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan, no accountability, trillions missing. But the state of California is just, and of course makes loans to the IMF so they can make loans to Mexico with our money. The insanity coming out of Washington, the inmates have taken over the asylum.
$100 billion to the IMF, and here how many hundreds of billions to AIG, and it's staggering. Just amazing, and it was reported just this past week by CNN Money. 7 more banks fell, pushing the 2009 tally to 52. My question is, they started doling out the billions that led into the trillions last, October? No jobs have been created. CNN reported this last week that the silver lining was that we had reached the bottom, consumer confidence was up, people were spending, and some of these paid talking heads that disseminate their disinformation to the sheep people actually said that this recession may be ending within the next month or 2. How can the recession, or depression as it should rightly be called, end without the creation of jobs? When in June they report with their own skewed numbers that we know are probably double what they actually admit to, 467,000 people thrown out of work just in June. I'm sure the tally from January 1st has to be millions. Oh, it's in multiple millions.
Okay, without the creation of jobs, how is this recession ever going to end? I don't see, is there any factory factories being built that I'm unaware of here in this area? Is Cone Mills going to be revamped and restarted? Baker Furniture over in Monksville? Without the creation of jobs, this thing cannot end. We have to have jobs in America, and the federal government has purposely exported them all to other countries.
America's effective unemployment rate is 18.7%. Steve Clemens, each month I receive from Leo Hinderly an update on America's effective unemployment rate, which includes not only the official unemployment figures, but other data points showing off-the-books unemployed or underemployed people. The numbers are staggering and contradicts the official data. They matter because various Obama administration officials, including the president himself, started off calling for huge stimulus packages to help generate
jobs.
But now, I've been hearing more and more from senior Obama economic team members about the jobs they hoped for coming at the very tail end of an economic recovery. Others are talking about GDP recovery, but not jobs recovery. They are admitting as well that they underestimated the severity of this recession and impact on unemployment levels. Here's the June 2009 version of the summary that calculates effective unemployment rate, which is now 18.7%, and the effective number of unemployed, which is now 30 million Americans. There are currently 14 million officially unemployed workers, as just announced. However, this figure does not include the combined 15 million American workers either in labor force reserve because they have abandoned their job searches, 4 million underemployed because they are part-time of necessity, or 8 million otherwise categorized as marginally attached. So altogether we have 30 million people here not working in the United States.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. The numbers that the government gives out, you're giving out probably a much more accurate number, pushing 20%. And in this area, I mean, it reflects anyone that's in the know in this area that talks to their neighbors or their family sees it. And again, until actual jobs are created. But what we're seeing here is, as I've stated before, problem, reaction, solution. The Federal Reserve banking system, the elite that control the monetary system of this country, have purposely imploded our economy. It's all been done by design. Then they've looted the Treasury. The real power obviously lies in the Federal Reserve. There's no accountability. They don't tell our Congress who got the money, how much, or why, or even when or if it's going to be repaid. We're on the hook for it. And the problem, reaction, solution, they've gave us the problem. They're purposely imploding the economy. The reaction of the American people at some point is going to be do anything. We will give you more and more of our power. You are the God, we are the slave. And then they will come up with the solution, which is something we wouldn't have accepted in the beginning, but because we went through problem and reaction, we will accept the solution. So they are taking us to accept something that otherwise we would have not found acceptable. And it works just almost every time, doesn't it, Brian?
Every time. September 11th, they got everything they wanted. They got a blank check for the military-industrial complex.
Justify war with whomever they choose. Well, we're going to be coming up on a break here shortly, so I want to announce again today, downtown Statesville, 12 to 2, corner of Center Street, Front Street. We are having a Rally for Liberty Tea Party protest, hoping our numbers are good. April 15th, approximately 200 people total showed up. We'll give out a lot of information. We're going to have the same thing again today, a lot of information to give out, DVDs, magazines, newspapers, and we have Mr. Flintlock's going to speak, Al, Dave, Mike, and others, and the public is welcome to speak. We're going to have a live mic so anyone can address the crowd and say anything they would like to. So with that in mind, anything you'd like to add, Brian?
So just make sure you're front and center street.
Yeah, front and center street. Bring signs and join us for 2 hours, and hopefully we'll have a great turnout. We will be filming the event, putting it on our website, TheRealNewsRadio.com. And again, any of these clips, like the Kokesh that we played, is on our website. If you'd like to hear it again, copy it, send it to friends. It's an excellent speech. We don't have enough time probably to cover. Well, I tell you what, this was in